To Celebrity Radio, it's Alex Belfield talking to some of the biggest stars and some of my favourite people, and we're here today at the Tropicana in Las Vegas for a brand new show called Imaginarium. It's starring David Goldrake, and I'm delighted to say he joins us now with a preview of the show. How are you, David?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm really good, and it's always nice to meet a magician because I'm fascinated by what you do. Audiences here in Vegas love it, and I guess this is your natural home. Vegas is the place for magicians.
I think it is a place where most of the magicians want to be and perform, yes.
So we look at the past. I mean, Lance Burton had probably the greatest magic show ever in this town. It was just glorious. And then there's David Copperfield across the street and Chris Angel and people like that. So you've got to find a niche. Tell me what Imaginarium's going to be and why we should come here to see this show.
Imaginarium is a show about the audience. Most shows have a theme, has a subject that is mostly about the magician or about the illusions, and we wanted to avoid that. The moment I decided to create that show for Las Vegas or other venues, I perform for the audience. It's about them. It's not about me. And that's what Imaginarium is going to be like. It's going to be a show that has different themes that we deal with every day, be it love, self-deception, time, aging, etc., etc. All these themes are going to be in the show, and I want to address the audience directly and have them think about those themes while they enjoy an illusion that has to do with it.
I've been asking other magicians about you and finding out what you do and then looking at clips online, and there's no doubt you're a master magician. I mean, you've been doing this all your life and you're heralded for it. I mean, without pampering your ego too much, there aren't many awards in magic that you haven't won. I guess that's just repetition and dedication and doing it again and again and again.
I think it's, in my case, it's passion. It's the passion for it. It's the purpose. It's a responsibility for the audience, towards the audience, and it's what keeps me going. When I see the looks in the faces of the spectators and I see happiness, I see that I can make them forget their everyday worries. That makes me happy.
And of course you're from Luxembourg and bringing this show to Las Vegas. Is this the most exciting, I'm sure it's terrifying as well, but exciting moment of your life? Because let's face it, these stages don't get any bigger and the profile doesn't get any higher for magicians.
I totally agree. It is both terrifying and exciting. Terrifying because it is a great and big room. Vegas is the mecca of magic. We have great magicians all around me. So I'm honored to be part of that group, of those people who can bring magic to their audiences, but then I'm also very humbled, intimidated, and I hope I'll be able to stay here long enough.
You spent all your life basically creating this overnight success here in Las Vegas. I wonder how much of the show you'd already got in your mind and it's ready to go. Are you creating it from nothing here, or is this a lifetime's work putting all those elements together?
I'd say it's a lifetime's work in the sense that I amassed all this experience and this luggage up until now, but the actual show has been created in 2012. We started creating it in 2012. We performed a version of it in 2015 already, which is about 70% of what the audience is going to see here. And then we added 30% more that are going to be done here on stage, performed on stage, and ironed out as we do.
I was looking at your Facebook page earlier, and you've had some of the set already delivered and some of the set pieces, the grand illusions, and they look very interesting. They also look incredibly expensive. I think people don't realize the cost of these illusions, and they last 20, maybe 30 seconds if you're pushing it.
That is true. Illusions can be very expensive, and they are only 2 to 3 minutes of a show. So if you count that we have 75 minutes of a show, it's a lot of money indeed.
And then in terms of the scale, I mean, I mentioned there these huge pieces that are coming in already that you're working on. And then there's the intimate magic that you do. Will you be mixing both? Because that's what we love, isn't it? To see a guy, who can make the girl disappear, chop her in half and keep whichever bit he wants, but then also sit there and prove the skill of a magician.
I've always loved opposites. That's what my life has been driven by for a very, very long time, I guess since my birth. And it's going to be both physical magic and both, let's call it intellectual, cerebral magic. We're going to do mentalism, we're going to do escapes, we're going to do some fast magic, some poetic magic, and it also goes for the size. We are going to have some really big illusions, and then we are also going to have some small pieces. One of the example is where I borrow 3 rings from the audience and I link them together, which is super intimate. It is again about the spectators, not about me, and then I return the ring recordings after they have been unlinked. So it goes both ways in this case.
And is it thrilling as we sit here in the theatre at the Tropicana? I mean, this is a beautiful room that has barely been used. I mean, they recreated it about 3 years ago to have that Vegas feel. It's got the booths in and that wonderful intimacy at the front and then a theatre at the back. They made it for Mamma Mia. And now it's yours. I mean, this must be an incredibly proud moment. This is a huge scale theatre.
It is a huge scale theatre, and it is a very proud and humbling moment.
How do you get people to come? That's the question everybody's trying to answer in this town. What do you do to make people go, David Goldrake, I want to see him?
I think the first element is me, the performer. People go to shows or even movies or concerts of people that they like, that they connect with. So it's very important to me to connect with my audience, to make them like me, to connect with them, to have the same heartbeat. That's how I compare it all the time. And then it's about the show. It's about having a beautiful show, a moving show, an inspiring show in my case, because that's what I'm aiming for. And then it's about the audience. If you touch them, if you really touch them deeply and make them part of it. It shouldn't be a passive experience, it should be an immersive experience. I think that's already half of the recipe. The rest is marketing, I guess.
And then we look at you as a performer. I mean, magic has changed. The Chris Angels of the world have moved it on. I think Lance admitted that the reason he left Las Vegas was because that type of show in the bobtail, the hat, the tails is gone. I guess the lighting's got to be right, the music and all those other elements. Is that something you care about? Because I know the creative team of this is extraordinary. You've got the people who've done costumes for Celine and the music for other big stars, Cher. You've got a high-powered team behind you.
We have an unbelievable team, yes. Our director choreographer has worked with Cher for 30 years, among others. Our costume designer has she's done Michael Jackson, she's done Katy Perry, she's done Madonna. So it's amazing. Our lighting designer, Jeff Johnson, did Siegfried and Roy. So it's a phenomenal team, and it is about the whole picture. It's not just about the magic, it's about the sets, it's about the music, it's about the costumes, it's about the script. We have, people who work on the script as well, and once the whole image is working all together, I think that's the perfect formula.
So here we are, we're sat nearly at the beginning of June, and 27th of June is opening night. When did you get the call to find out that this was going to be yours?
It was a couple of months ago. We have been negotiating for a while with them, and we signed the contract a couple of weeks ago. First of all, when I see my face and my name on the marquee, it's surreal. Yes, it's just it's surreal because I'm here to do what I love. I'm here to share it with people, and I think that fame, money, whatever, all the secondary effects are secondary effects. As long as I'm able to share my dream with my audience every night, I'm happy. All the rest is just the bling bling.
And the other great thing about Vegas, of course, is the stars come here to see the stars, and they'll be coming in to see you. That must be thrilling as well, that they're going to come. Well, they are. I mean, there's no question. They might wear baseball caps and wear a big jacket so you don't recognize them, but they're all going to come and see you. Again, that's got to give you a frisson of excitement.
That is very exciting. I had an experience in 2003 where Siegfried came to see my show at the Magic Castle, and I have to admit that that's still, to this day, one of the highlights of my career.
I'm told that was the most beautiful magic show, certainly in this town. I didn't get to see it. Was it?
It was phenomenal. It was beyond, it transcended magic. It was such a unique show. And if you look at a lot of today's shows, you will recognize where the inspiration came from.
Again, what I love about great magicians is you guys are all on each other's side, aren't you? I mean, you care passionately about the craft and the art, and you want each other to do well. I mean, this is a competitive town, but it's also a huge town that's got millions of people coming and going with the traffic to fill all these theatres. So in a way, you are a community, and anybody failing doesn't help.
That is true. I think it's very important to be successful as a magician or performer generally, because it will help the art, it will help the craft, and in this case, a good magician will attract another crowd for another magician. So it is important for everybody to do a good job.
And as you can tell, David, I'm a deeply unattractive man. I notice in your artwork that you're using the guns and the appeal with the ladies. I know you're a happily married man, of course. This is a big element. I mean, nobody wants to look at an ugly person. You are a nice bit of trouser, as we say in show business.
Well, I guess A, beauty comes from inside, and B, I don't know what I look like to other people.
I wish you truly all the best. You have one of the most beautiful theatres truly in Las Vegas. It is stunning. And with so many showrooms empty, to have a showroom that is also a theatre, you've got Old Vegas and you've got New Vegas at the same time with this enormous grand scale show. We wish you all the best. You can see David Goldrake at the Tropicana Las Vegas, 7 p.m. starting June 27th. We wish you all the best. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Alex.